Welcome back. With the hockey season about to start, there was another gathering of the Future of Hockey Lab, this time in Cape Breton. It's a group that comes together to brainstorm ideas to make hockey more accessible and make diverse groups feel more welcome in the sport. The lab was inspired by the work of Hockey Nova Scotia's Diversity and Inclusion Task Force, where hundreds of ideas to reimagine the game were offered, but lacked a mechanism to actually start acting on those ideas. For more on this, we're joined by media expert Mohit Rahjans, who's at the lab in Cape Breton today. Mohit, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Matt. Thanks for having me.
How could the Future of Hockey Lab change the game?
Well, it's interesting. I've been part of this project now for the past year. The Future of Hockey Lab is really trying to design access so that people can grow the game and the people come from the community, right? And so many aspects of the hockey world, unfortunately, are affected by a certain group of people ruling the way hockey is being accessed. Now the world is changing, and we're starting to open up opportunities to both underserviced markets and people who feel like they want to be a part of the game, but also to keep people in this game, to use some of the technology available so that people feel like they can be a part of it, even if they're not rock stars on the ice.
Tell us about some of the projects you're involved in at the lab.
Well, luckily, because of my expertise, I'm able to work on the technology side of things. And so a lot of the projects have to do with gathering data as to how we can communicate to various groups, how we can make sure that training is accessible and that females are empowered as well to do everything from coach to participate in the game. There's a growing amount of disparity that can be helped as a result of using technology properly. And I think that's where this merger of sports and tech is really going to help people feel safe on the ice and off the ice.
So what types of data are you collecting and how are you using it?
So we looked at several different projects through the Future of Hockey Lab, and this whole weekend has been a discussion about growing the game and inclusivity. And a lot of the data pointed to the fact that not enough training has been made to improve some of the quality of life off of the ice. And there's not enough diversity and inclusion training for volunteer coaches and really career paths that can help people on that aspect. The data is true. 1 in 4 youth right now experience cyber victimization right now because they don't have the right outlets to be able to report structures. If we can start to use sports and game to actually help our youth with some of their mental health related issues, what we end up doing is we end up bridging something that we love and we've loved in this country for years and the opportunity for the youth market.
I understand some of the work is around keeping kids safer.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the goals. But to be honest with you, we have the NHL at the table. We have Bauer at the table. We have all the big people that traditionally just work on the professionals and the professional side of hockey. They're finally listening to us because we are the audience. We're the parents that pay into the sport and support it. So individually, we're starting to make differences across the country, but now we're knocking on the doors of big corporations to stop and say, you can't get all the benefits of this great game without empowering your youth.
That's Mohit Rahjans, a media expert at the Future of Hockey Lab. Mohit, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Matt. Thanks for having me.